Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ADL All-Stars Season Week 4. I'm Toby, and we are spectating Splash versus Burst. Pretty interesting matchup we've got here. You've got Splash, a coach who's 1-2 in the season so far, and Burst, who is 3-0 so far, an undefeated coach. So Splash has an opportunity to do a big upset here, but Burst also has an opportunity to pretty much assure his place in playoffs here soon. I mean, you need one more win, but 4, you're feeling pretty fucking comfortable. So, matchup-wise, this is interesting because it does look like Mega Gengar goes really, really hard into Burst here. I think his Perish mode is super duper strong, but I think if Burst can get past that, he has a pretty clean path to victory. So really, it's all a matter of can Burst navigate that Perish mode. So I guess we'll find out here. I expect to see Gengar Mousehold probably base Floette, probably Corviknight, if I had to guess. I think Burst will probably bring Mega Floette, obviously. Alright, let's see how we go here. And Burst leads Incin Vivillon. And Splash leads Azumarill Gengar. I really appreciate the nickname schemes. Okay, so what to do here? I mean, obviously you're thinking you're going to see a Mega Gengar here, but is that the safest thing to do? Do you want to keep that in the field in front of this Incineroar? Or do you want to preserve it for later when this Incineroar has been dealt with? I mean, you do have the Azumarill on the field that can pretty easily dispatch of it. I don't know if that Intimidate drop will absolutely ruin damage calcs or not, though. So let's see. Protecting the Azumarill. Fake out. Okay, good protect. Vivillon uses Tailwind, so Burst is going to have the de facto speed advantage here for quite some time. Well, Friend Guard next to Azumarill looks pretty good here. I don't think there's a ton of damage on Burst's side that can threaten Azumarill here, so if he can get this Azumarill, maybe he's got the Belly Drum set, I'm not sure. But if Splash can make Azumarill work here, he might... Follow me. Into Parting Shot. Okay. So what comes in here? Is it Garchomp? Floette? Floette, okay. So is this like a Wave Crash? Because I don't think this Liquidation. So I don't think... Oh! Went into the Vivillon, not the Incineroar. Okay. Okay, so still really neutral game state right now. Yes, Burst has the speed advantage, and he has a Mega Floette on this end, so there's some oppressive damage coming this way. But Splash also has a pretty well-supported Azumarill with this Mousehold here. I mean, you can't follow me away the Dazzling Gleam, but will Dazzling Gleam do that much damage into Azumarill anyway? He could probably Rage Powder with Vivillon to protect Floette. I don't know. This is a pretty... It's a pretty even game state here. I don't really know who has the advantage here. Yeah, redirection on Vivillon. Calm Mind on Floette. Ooh, okay. That's going to put Floette in a very, very good position to just Mega and pop off here next turn. Super Fang into the Vivillon. Liquidation into the Vivillon. Should just kill, yep. But ultimately, Vivillon's done its job. Burst has the speed advantage. It has redirected away that damage so that Calm Mind can go up successfully. It puts Floette in a very, very good spot. Burst can just bring back out Incineroar, put that fake out pressure on the field, intimidate the Azumarill again, and... suddenly, in a turn, Burst's momentum has shifted dramatically. But in comes the Jolteon. No Incineroar yet. Which makes sense here. Jolteon threatens that Azumarill far more than just dumbing down its offense with Incineroar would. Let's see. I'd have to expect to see Mega Floette and then just rip a Dazzling Gleam here? I would think. Yeah, I think that's what's coming here. And then you see like a Thunderbolt into the Azumarill just to confirm the kill? If I had to guess. Okay. Follow me. Volt Switch. Okay, makes sense. Good follow me. So what does this Floette do here? This is probably just into Incineroar, and then another Intimidate drop on the Azumarill, which is nice. Fake out pressure for next turn, which is super nice. Very beautifully done by Burst here. Making sure this Azumarill really can't do the damage that it's wanting to do here. You almost want to just switch it out if you're Splash, but what do you switch it out into? I mean, what takes this bolstered Floette's attacks other than maybe Corviknight if you have it in the back? Moonblast comes out into the Mouse Hold and kills the Mouse Hold. No surprises there. Play Rough does about 40%, a little less than 40%. That's not horrible damage for being intimidated twice. Okay, and then Gengar is out on the field. Tailwind should be done here soon, if it hasn't already. So that again, Splash still has that ace in the hole. He still has that Gengar in his back pocket. And honestly, most of Floette's stabs aren't, or most of Floette's damage isn't going to be able to hurt this Gengar, other than if maybe Burst slotted like Psychic on it. I think that's like the only coverage move it gets. Bringing back the Azumarill to bring out the Corviknight, smart, so you can soak up that damage from Floette. Keep your Azumarill fresh for the end game, bring it back in with resetted attack stat. Protect into the Gengar. Fake out into the Corviknight, probably hoping to catch that Azumarill and then pick it off. Or just stop it from moving and pick off Gengar. Okay. Okay. So this is interesting because this Floette is not really threatening a ton of damage onto Splash's side. Yes, you can rip a Psychic into this Gengar, but now at this point, this Gengar should be able to move first and Sludge Bomb it. Although it probably lives the Sludge Bomb because of the Calm Mind, no? Right? Then the matter of this Corviknight here. I mean, Body Press threatened onto the Incineroar. I will assume a Steel Stab threatening into the Floette as well. I don't know. This is definitely not over yet, no matter which way you look at it. And the Sludge Bomb brings Incineroar low. Moonblast into the Corviknight does a pretty significant chunk, all things considered. Flare Blitz does kill the Corviknight, but it will kill the Incineroar in the process. So that's going to leave Azumarill Gengar on Splash's side. That's going to leave Floette and Jolteon on Burst's side. This is a pretty close game one. No one coach has had a super clear advantage here, and that's kind of something I love to see. You know, there's no clear winner yet. Although I will say, Jolteon's pressure into Azumarill and that threatened boosted Psychic into the Gengar, that does make things a little scary for Splash here, but it's definitely not over. Especially with Splash having the speed advantage once again. It's all a question of how much does maybe a double in to Floette do? Can you get the double in off before your Azumarill dies is the other question. Protect into the Gengar, okay. Electro Web. If it was a Psychic into the Gengar, that would mean Azumarill can rip a Liquidation into the Floette. Okay, so how much does this Liquidation do into the Floette? Oh, Play Rough just OHKOs the Jolteon. Okay, perfect. Good move by Splash. Then you remove that potential Electro Web spam or any super oppressive stabs that's going into Azumarill. So very good play there. Very, very good. So that leaves a 2 versus 1 scenario. Sludge Bomb does a bit more than half. Psychic should kill the Gengar. How much does a Liquidation from Azumarill do to this Floette? Is it enough to kill? I would say it should be. And that is enough to kill. So Splash takes a game off of our undefeated burst so far. We are going into game 2. One more game, this could be Splash's victory over the last undefeated coach in the division. And you really got to think, I mean, he did a great job preserving that Azumarill, keeping it relatively healthy, or pretty much perfectly healthy until the very, very end there. And it ultimately helped him quite a lot and got him the win at the end of the game there. But now you have that information as well that Floette is slotting Psychic, that it's setting up with Calm Mind, that Vivian is speeding things up with Tailwind. You kind of know what Burst's game plan is here, at least what is one of his main game plans is here. So you can kind of navigate around that and play around that, which Splash did beautifully, but now you can kind of push your knowledge advantage a bit more, where I think Splash has a lot more options than Burst here, right? Although we could see some Garchomp gaming too. That could be something. But yeah, if Burst, it kind of shows right there, if Burst can get past the oppression of Gengar, then he has a pretty good win con, a pretty good path to victory. But when you're preserving your main damage as well as Splash was, it becomes very, very hard to make that win con a reality. So let's see what adjustment Burst makes here. I don't think either coach did bad in the first game at all. Sableye Jolteon, so we do see Sableye come out. And then base Floette Eternal right next to Gengar. Okay. This is an interesting board right here. Not the board that I thought I would see, that's for sure. So Sableye can do pretty much anything here. That's kind of the thing. You can't really make a call, at least on the commentator side of things. I don't know what this Sableye is going to do. I can kind of give you an idea of what this Jolteon's going to do. I think it's probably going to Electro Web or just switch. That's cool too. And then in comes the Incineroar, which is a smart switch for Burst there. The Gengar Mega Evolves. Dazzling Gleam from Floette. A Roselli Berry on Sableye, so it should soak that up, no problem. Okay. That's close to a kill, but I don't think that even kills without Roselli Berry. Sludge Bomb does a very good chunk into the Incineroar, and the poison! Oh man, that really puts Incineroar on a timer. It will not be able to stick around much longer. And a Snarl from the Sableye is not what I expected to see at all, but that is a huge move by Burst. That means this Floette and this Gengar are not going to be able to put out anywhere near as much pressure as Splash is wanting them to. He's going to have to pivot something here unless he really wants to brute force it. We'll see. But at -1, there's no way that Gengar is threatening this Floette in the back. In comes the Azumarill. And a double switch from Splash. Probably smart. And you pivot into Azumarill and Mouse Hold. Perfect. That would have done a lot of damage into the Gengar. And the poison takes the Incineroar down. A very, very nice poison for Splash. That means that Incineroar can't pivot around and be a problem for your Azumarill later on. Still got to get past the Jolteon, but one obstacle is removed. So, if you're Splash, what do you do here? I mean, you can redirect with Mouse Hold, but that Electro Web is still just going to hit your Azumarill, reduce its speed, and then you can hit... Well, I don't know if you can hit with your Sableye. I don't know what's on this Sableye. I wouldn't have called Snarl, so... Detect on the Jolteon, okay. Follow me on the Mouse Hold, probably just a Play Rough into the Sableye then. Disable, so Mouse Hold can no longer redirect damage from this Azumarill. That could be big later down the line, and Liquidation goes into the Detect of the Jolteon. So Sableye sits on this field another turn and gets to do whatever it is it wants to do. If I had to guess, probably encoring the Mouse Hold into Follow Me so that it struggles itself to death and kind of sits there. You'd think. Protect on the Azumarill makes sense. Wisp from the Sableye. Ooh. Thunderbolt comes out. Not quite enough to kill Mouse Hold yet, but the Para is big. Ooh, Lumberry. Even bigger. Even bigger. Super Fang comes out, removes half of Jolteon's health, which is super nice. I don't know. This Sableye is putting off a lot more pressure than I think Splash wants it to be. That Wisp pressure is really, really bad for this Azumarill, and the Mouse Hold can't redirect it. Oh, and he just misses the kill. Just misses the kill onto Jolteon. The Encore into the Azumarill means it will have to hit Aqua Jet for the rest of its time on the field, or at least for a few more turns here. Likely the rest of the time on the field, considering this. Well, you can probably just... Now I don't know. Things are happening before my eyes. Okay, White Herb is super good there. Never mind. This Azumarill is in an okay position. Although now that it's forced to Aqua Jet, it can only put off so much damage, and you do still have the Wisp pressure coming in from the Sableye on bursts, and Base Floette comes out. It can most definitely dispatch of this Sableye this turn. But your Azumarill is Encored into Aqua Jet, so you just swap it out to prevent it from going down this turn. Or getting burned or anything else, because the Sableye can get at least a Wisp off before its time on this field is over. And then you see a Mega Floette coming out. I assume we're going to see some sort of Wisp into the Azumarill. Yep. Which makes sense. Get one last laugh off on that Sableye before the Dazzling Gleam takes it down. It means that the damage output on that Azumarill is severely limited. Moonblast picks up the Sableye, no problem whatsoever. And it does leave Burst's Floette all by its lonesome. But it is all by its lonesome with a Calm Mind boost, which means there is no way that Sludge Bomb is going to be able to kill it in one shot here. Barring a crit, I suppose. That is looking tough. Even being in a 1v3 scenario with this Calm Mind set up, this Floette is looking like it's in a decent position here. Well, although I guess the question is how many hits can it take from a base Floette? Oh yeah, because now you have to think the Sludge Bomb should just kill. Oh, and no kill there. Never mind, folks. It looks like this Floette on Burst End might be going down. We might be seeing the defeat of the undefeated right here, right now. Splash might be accomplishing a monumental feat. And the Floette just hits. Yeah, that is going to be game. And we have Splash second cousin ending Burst's win streak pretty beautifully, I might add. And having that Gengar in the back with as low as that Floette's health was, even if Burst had managed to get those KOs, it just wouldn't have been able to make it through that Mega Gengar. Gengar being such a tough bring for Burst here. But yeah, I mean, Splash played that beautifully, preserving his Azumarill to the end in Game 1, and then ensuring he had his Gengar in the back Game 2, so that he had ample damage to deal with Burst's main win con, which is Floette. So beautifully done, Splash. But super well played by both coaches. These were great games to watch. I really enjoyed them. I honestly might be a contender for my match of the week. We'll have to see. Because, like I said, I don't really think either coach did anything wrong. I don't think they played bad. They both played very, very well. Just Splash's positioning was very, very good. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Congratulations to Splash for breaking the undefeated win streak. And yeah, thank you all for watching, folks. I will see you in week 5 and some coach interviews coming here very, very soon. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you then. Bye.